take it a little slower. Wake up, right?
I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't wanna do your dirty work no more.
We are live. The penultimate. Did I say that like how co-host says it? How does he say it? Does he say it? Penultimate? I don't know. We're at the final before the season finale of episode 5, which we will announce what our next iteration of the show will be. Pretty excited. Working on an intro currently as we speak. Hopefully we'll have that for next week when we drop it, so I can just preview the thing and we'll give away what we're doing instead of us talking about it. I'll be honest with you, I told these guys off, I don't want to do this show tonight. I don't want to do the show because I'd rather just watch the episodes and fuck the show because I'm not happy with how these shows are ending. This week to week bullshit, even though I get 3, not enough. Matt might be 100% correct. Mark has 0 fucking chance of like being correct. So like we're in for an interesting final. Basically 2 seasons left. But first, we know how Mark is like in real life. We talked about this at length. He's got a good good snack next to him today. But overall, Mark, how are you, and how was your viewing experience?
That was very good. I mean, if we would like to get Texas Roadhouse as a sponsor, that would be great. You got the rolls here with the butter. Like, I mean, I am a proud patron of said restaurant, and I like, you know, and we're moving up in the viewer world. I think we're, you know, getting to the point, you know, where we can, you know, get a few sponsors on the show.
Yeah, crazy. So week 7 just debuted. Week 6 got to 172 views. Don't know how that's happening. Happy about it. It's exciting. I want some more comments and stuff on it, but like we are outgrossing trivia right now, which is kind of crazy to do because that's what this channel is built on, and it's all movies. So that's cool. We're in YLS numbers. So that's pretty sweet. Yeah, Texas Roadhouse, which seems so weird that you're in Texas and eating Texas Roadhouse. Like, I guess that does work, but it seems questionable. I don't know.
I feel like you probably have better options, but yeah.
Yeah, personally, I bet
Although, I wouldn't mind having some of those ribs right now, so the sponsorship might be a good idea.
Yeah, pay us, and we will talk about the Sopranos, Mad Men, and The Shield while eating Texas Roadhouse. Sounds good. We have nothing to offer you besides the 172 people possibly clicking on this video once, and if we put it at the front of the video, you get all the benefits. So think about that. Pretty cool. Matt, how are you? How was your viewing experience this week?
I'm doing good. Probably about 70 of those views might be me because right now I can't sleep unless I'm listening to us talk about great television shows. So, but yeah, I mean, this was a great week. Seeing that intro, we've come so far from just happily singing about doing dirty work and being different kind of cops. I mean, Dawn and Pete haven't really progressed too much in their relationship, but other than that, we these shows are hitting their strides, and it's some really good stuff. And I don't have to work tomorrow, so I'm going to be full of energy tonight. Maybe.
I'll be yawning. Matt won't be because he's drank coffee. The crazy thing is too. Yeah, time codes. We're putting time codes in the thing. We're having a lot of fun doing the show. I don't know if anybody's ever done this in community. It happens to me quite frequently because how often I talk on live shows that sometimes I have a nightmare where I'm on the show in my dream, and Mark and Matt, which are the most eloquent talkers on the face of this planet sometimes, are looking for me to talk. And I can't come up with words. And let me tell you, the panic that ensues while I'm sleeping is a nightmare. So it happened to me last week. I was sitting there, and like Mark's like, Cody, episode 6? I was like, I already talked about it. And they're like, no, you didn't. And I'm panicking. So it happened to me when I did YLS often. One of those crazy dreams, one of the nightmares. But Matt didn't ask me this week. He just pumped about his own coffee. My viewing experience was great. I'm miserable as always because it was so easy doing Breaking Bad because I knew what was coming. I'm really glad the Shield isn't mine because that bitch would have been done last week. I would have been done with it. And honestly, like overall, like how we're doing it, like we're putting Shield first, but like if we did heavy hitters right now, I don't know, but like Shield would have an argument for the last on the show. Right, for me personally. It's gaining steam that it's just like let's go. So all in all, not a bad idea. I still like that we cap off with it. By the way, doing time codes puts a real put into account of who talks the most on this show. Any guess on who the number one is?
I don't know.
The man's looking down at his rolls because he knows exactly who it is. Matt will be like, 15 minutes, Shield. 12-minute Shield. 13-minute Shield. Mark, 30, 35, 40.
To be fair, I think a lot of that is you and me interrupting him.
That is also fair, but he likes to cover every nook and cranny. He does not. And I think Mad Men's a little bit more complex. It has a lot of character feels. So I give him credit, but I was like, damn, Mark didn't. This one episode I just did, I was like, Mark didn't shut up at all. Like, he just ranted. But that's what makes it so fun. I had to do the banners. I think I got them all right. But we are going to the show that I think is tops right now overall. Like, I wouldn't say like, I don't know if it's the best made show because I think that is Mad Men. But like, got my attention fully right now, and that's the Shield. So you want to go episode 7?
Yeah, let's go to episode 7, Man Inside.
Oh, no. Go ahead. I'm going to change the colors because I'm bad at my job.
Yeah, so Man Inside. It starts with a softball game between our Farmington division and another police division, which as a softball game you would expect in the Shield, it ends in a brawl until somebody pulls out a shotgun, and that kind of breaks everything up a little bit.
5 seasons and we're just now playing softball, please.
So then we go to Kavanaugh wants to talk to Ronnie and the lawyer. Kavanaugh asks him where Vic might have gotten $65,000 from. And he kind of congratulates Ronnie because that he's the only one smart enough not to leave any money trail as far as to the money he has stashed away. And Kavanaugh also kind of plants a seed of doubt in Ronnie's mind about the lawyer. Ronnie tells the other guys about what Kavanaugh told him. So now Vic kind of knows what Corrine told Kavanaugh about the $65,000 that he gave her. The lawyer calls out Vic on his shit. And at first, Vic tries to kind of play the autistic kids card, but then he kind of backpedals and just tells her it was him. It was so easy. But he tells her that he still wants to be a cop and he can do better. He just needs her help to get a second chance. So Vic can redeem himself.
Vic makes some interesting choices this episode runs.
Yeah.
So like, I'm really curious what benefits him, but.
Yeah. Vic also visits with Corrine, and she tells him that she doesn't want to hurt him, but right now she's just trying to keep herself out of jail so she can be there for the kids. Kavanaugh next talks with Shane again. He asks Shane about money and all that stuff again, but the lawyer's there with him this time, so she goes on defense and kind of shuts it all down. And then Kavanaugh goes to visit Aceveda and suggests that maybe Aceveda tipped Vic off about Terry, which Aceveda wasn't really he didn't really like that. But then Kavanaugh also asked Aceveda about Antoine and Juan from last season. Kavanaugh thinks it's all connected somehow.
Does anybody else have this problem with the Shield? That when they do the flashback and they basically tell you what's coming in this episode?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's just annoying. Like, I don't need. It's a slight nitpick, but I'm like they bring back the guy. I'm like, oh, so Kavanaugh's going to use that against him this time, like, or like the murder of the going Terry, inside the house and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it pops back in. I'm like, we've watched the show. Like, you don't have to tell us what's coming. Like,
To be fair, some of like the season 1 stuff was technically like 5 years ago if you were watching the show live. So
That's
maybe a
fine.
refresher there.
that stuff, but not the
Yeah.
stuff that just currently like
Yeah.
happened the last 2 seasons. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, I feel like half the time they just really want to show the scene in which Aceveda was abused. Like, how many more times can we just remind the audience that this happened?
The creator has a very big like fellatio like obsession because like sucking on my balls, like and that was Antoine all season long. He said it every episode, and now this one's just like you want to get on your knee. Like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah, if I could have done a tally of like which one appears more in the previously on Terry getting shot or Aceveda getting assaulted, it probably would have been close.
if I was Aceveda, the real actor, I'd be like, hey, how do I get this edited out of like every intro? I know it's in the show, but can I get it out of the intro? Like, what?
And when that scene actually, when that episode aired live, they had like an extra like 10 or 12 seconds of that scene that kind of got cut out of future airing. So we got to see the tamer version of that
Good
sequence.
Lord.
Yeah.
that went out on cable. Like,
Well, we see the opposite mouth. How much 12 seconds we got?
I think you get to see him like spitting something out and stuff.
my God.
Jeez.
I'll see if I can find it on YouTube and send it to you guys.
You don't have to.
I know Mark's gonna want to rewind that a few times.
You're doing that shit to yourself. Don't type that into your Google, sir. It'll get you in real trouble.
Oh, but anyway, back to the strike team.
Your memory, man.
They meet with the other police force that they were playing softball with at the crime scene. One of the detectives tells Vic that they might have room for the strike team with their division. They think that a guy named Ochoa killed his girlfriend and her daughter before taking his 100-pound meth stash. They end up tracking the guy down. They haul him into the barn, and he tells them that he didn't hurt the girls or take the meth out of there. And he says that it was her ex-boyfriend or husband, Ted, who killed them and took the meth. So now the cops and the Ocha guy are both on the hunt for Ted and the drugs. Ocha has one of Ted's roommates killed while he was out there looking for him. Vic has the idea to use one of their contacts to try to buy the drugs and lure Ted out. They ask Aceveda for help trying to get the money. They need to catch the guy, which Kavanaugh noticed them talking, and that kind of gets his suspicions up a little bit more. Ted does show up high to make the sale and ends up going to the wrong house. So the police get involved, and it creates a whole hostage situation. And then they have the bright idea to use C4 to blow a hole through the wall, which surprisingly works. They blow a hole through the wall, and they grab Ted and arrest him. And I think that's all I have for that storyline. I guess Ted is, they caught Ted. Good for them. Aceveda tells Lem that he can make a deal so that the strike team will only do 1 year in jail, but Lem doesn't want to cooperate with him. Ronnie tells Vic that Kavanaugh is still wearing his wedding ring, even though he's been divorced for 2 years, and they think that they might be able to use that to their advantage. Vic talks with the lawyer again, and she warns him what he has in mind is dangerous. Vic then meets with Corrine and tells her to make a deal with Kavanaugh to protect her and the kids. Shane, Ronnie, and Lem all talk. Ronnie suggests that maybe they should be getting separate lawyers to help fight Kavanaugh, kind of at 4 different angles. And then we get into the Claudette and Dutch storyline. Claudette questions Cleavon while Dutch watches. She tells him about all the evidence they have on him. Meanwhile, Julian and Tina tell Dutch that they have a hit on Cleavon's sister Fatima's credit card. But we notice Claudette kind of isn't on her A game this episode. She's kind of, I guess her condition's kind of bothering her a little bit. Dutch gives her a little bit of a pep talk to kind of get her going again. And Julian and Tina do a trace on the credit card purchases and find that Fatima is alive, but she is now terrified of Cleavon. So they bring her back to the station. Claudette tells Cleavon that they found her murdered, and the doctor does some pictures to show him, and she pushes him and keeps pushing him, and he spits in her face. Claudette tells Dutch that she can't do it, but Dutch gives her another pep talk, and it seems to do the trick. So Claudette goes back in there and keeps pushing him, and she finally gets him to confess to killing the other girls, but he says he would never hurt his sister. And that's so they get the confession. They walk him out, and that's where he sees that his sister is alive and well. So he gets upset about that. And then Claudette ends up passing out and falling down the stairs at the end of our episode here.
Yeah, crazy episode overall. I really like I'm kind of glad we got into the story with Terry or whatever, the murderer. But he did say a wicked line when she felt him, who's going to hell now? Which is like, oh shit. But yeah, like there's so many complex things happen with the strike team and like looking into it and like the finances and stuff. Like, I mean, it gets better over the episode, but Kavanaugh's a son of a bitch. Like he just sucks so much. But
he's just trying to get these corrupt cops off the street.
yeah, but like my thing is like, at what, like, I don't know who hurt him. I don't know what made him so mad, but like, at what cost are we doing this now? Like, the guy got killed over 5 years ago. Well, I guess how the time span?
It's probably about maybe 2.5 years, give or take.
Okay. So 2.5 years have passed since. They didn't investigate them. They didn't do it now. They're trying to sting this stuff. While they're still arresting people, they're all short things. So I just don't know what the benefit of it is. So it's just weird to me. A great episode overall.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things I think came up here. At least the one I want to bring up, at least right now, is the whole Aceveda of it all, which I will say again. I think the most interesting, like they realized it, I think around like maybe like late season 3. The most interesting version of Aceveda is the politically driven Aceveda, hands down. And we've gotten to a point because they made it very clear that Kavanaugh's going to use Aceveda to get the strike team. And it wasn't really until this episode I realized that I don't know if Aceveda should be backing Kavanaugh. Because if Kavanaugh keeps going down this stretch, he's going to find out things about Aceveda that Aceveda does not want him to find out. Would be bad if Aceveda... So, like, it puts Aceveda in a real interesting position of, like, who exactly does Aceveda really want to come out on top here? And it makes him, like, just an interesting wild card, especially, like, for things going forward.
It's kind of like the situation where Aceveda's like, oh, you're going after Vic, fine. Oh, now you turn your attention to me. Now it's not a problem. I was fine when you were going after Mackie. Keep my name out your fucking mouth because, like, it's just not going to. So you see him, like, tense up, like, when he comes in, like, holds it over his head. Like, it's just. And again, they do such a good job with this character where they're basically like, oh, like, what about him? Antoine Mitchell? Should I go investigate? What the fuck? Like, and you never thought that would be the connection that Kavanaugh would make. But that's the point that I keep making. Kavanaugh is extending too far out of his scope where he is going. Like, there's stuff that happened. We're not even there yet. But, like, there's stuff this episode. I was so surprised that didn't happen that I thought was going to happen. Like, but yeah, it's crazy. The episode they've built enough time with this strike team for us to care about every individual storyline. That's something this show should get full credit for. They kept the barn small, and they make us care about every individual inside the that's tight knit to the barn. Julian, Danny, Claudette,
Claudette,
Dutch,
yeah.
and the entire group. They're all tight knit at this point, and now they're like, this is like where we're at. I think it's brilliant.
I think that's also it's kind of set this season apart too, because like you mentioned about all those other characters were kind of boring up to this point. I feel like now they have kind of hit their stride, or at the very least, they're more interesting now. At least the stuff that's going on with Julia and like, Julian and like the new officers,
Tina,
like, and all at least kind of the like all the drama at least with Danny and the kid is super interesting. And they like Claudette, I think probably had like probably her best moment in like a season and a half. Like whenever she shut that door on Dutch, it was amazing. Like I was hooked, especially when we got to the end. Like it was pretty late when I saw that episode, but I had to figure out what was like kind of the lead up going on in that one. I watched at least the first 15 minutes the next episode because like I had to know what was the follow up.
Yeah, because at the end when she's laying on them stairs, her neck's all bent up. It's like, whoa.
Oh, I've done the same thing it's every time now. It's 20 minutes of the next episode. I don't care. I don't care. Personally, don't care. I stop myself, but it's a problem. There will be a point where I will not stop myself. I already know it. So
probably when you get to the last season.
I'm not looking forward to it.
All right, so I think that'll bring us over to episode 8, Kavanaugh. So we got
because it's got his name attached to it, like an asshole.
Which it's a really great. I mean, this is the first time they've done anything like this, where an episode is pretty much POV for a character that's outside of like the usual characters. So you could kind of see them through someone else's eyes. So I thought it was really interesting. But yeah, it starts off Kavanaugh doing kind of his morning routine, which really does make him look like a psycho. But yeah, so then Kavanaugh goes and visits Antoine in jail. Antoine's back. Antoine tells him that he can give him more than enough information for the right price. And pretty much the only way that he will help is that Kavanaugh promises he will get all the strike team members in the same prison with him. And Kavanaugh tells him that that's no deal. So then on the drive back, Kavanaugh hears Vic on the police radio talking about someone tossing grenades into a barbecue.
Did anybody else think it was like a ploy to get Kavanaugh there? Like, that's what I thought it was when he was hearing the police camera. Because I think they made a point to like target his, like look into his face. Because they brought up the ring, right?
Yeah. They've been looking into him.
I thought it was something associated with that. No, it's fucking grenades. Fucking wild. Took me off guard real quick. Like, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think from the last season when that guy blew up, they had some just body parts lying around still. So like, let's find a way to write these body parts and use them again. But yeah, he races over to the scene. It looks like the Spook Street gang was the target of the grenade attack. Then we have Kavanaugh goes and visits Amolia. She tells him that she can give him information about the grenades as long as she won't have to testify against Vic. So he brings her over to the strike team with her information. She tells them that there's another shipment of grenades coming in. Vic wants to use her undercover to intercept them. Kavanaugh agrees as long as he's there for every step of the way. They will work together to keep the grenades off the street. Apparently, it's the Salvadorians are bringing them in to help get control of the drug trade once again. We have a scene, Kavanaugh asking Dutch how Claudette is doing, and he says that she's getting better and will be back soon. Dutch asks him how the investigation is going, and he tells Kavanaugh that maybe they can talk later away from the barn. Then Kavanaugh's team and the strike team follow Amolia while she's undercover. They listen as she's shown how to assemble a grenade. And then the guy just pulls the pin on a grenade and tosses it at her. And she has to try to put it back together before it explodes, which she passed the test. It was a dummy grenade, so she wasn't really in danger. But Kavanaugh is kind of freaking out because he kind of thinks that in the back of his head, maybe Vic might be using this as an opportunity to get rid of Amolia, since he knows that she's can potentially mess the guys up. Kavanaugh gets a phone call from his ex-wife. Then he aggressively gets Dutch to give him a ride on their way to the scene.
After Dutch basically told him, is like, hey, we're not friends. Don't treat me. Hey, get up.
Which I like to think Kavanaugh just did that for show so that no one in the barn would think that Dutch is trying to work with him. Dutch tells Kavanaugh that he thinks maybe the strike team might have ripped off the money train. Kavanaugh tells Dutch that his ex-wife was just raped. Julian and Tina are already there talking with her when they arrive. She says that she fought the guy off. She doesn't want Kavanaugh to leave, but he tells her that he has some things to do. Kavanaugh interrupts Vic questioning a Spook Street member at the barn and tells him that Kavanaugh is the one that had one guy that can give him a good deal if he will help them get the information on the Salvadorians. And he proves his point by pulling out his phone and calling the district attorney and kind of getting a verbal agreement for a deal for the guy. Then Kavanaugh heads over to the hospital and talks with Dutch and Corrine. They didn't really get much off of the rape kit. His ex-wife, Sadie, seems to have fought the guy off quickly. Kavanaugh reports to the scene of another grenade attack. The address was an actual old Spook Street drug crib, which is now owned by civilians thanks to the seizure program from last season. So it kind of shows that the Salvadorians are going off of some old information. Dutch and Kavanaugh question a rape suspect, but he doesn't completely match the Sadie's description of the guy. Dutch has her brought to the barn to see the guy. Meanwhile, the strike team is gearing up to go bust where the grenades are being assembled. Kavanaugh tells them to hold on until he gets there. Sadie positively identifies the suspect as her attacker. And then Kavanaugh asks her to come home, and she tells him to stop wearing the ring, and she asks him to quit asking her because she will eventually say yes, and then they'll both be in trouble. Dutch asks Kavanaugh about Sadie's history of mental illness, which Kavanaugh not a big fan of that at all.
Where's internal investigation for that shit? You can't put your hands on a detective. Like, what are we doing? Oh, the hypocrisy knows no bounds.
But yeah, he tells Dutch that was a few years ago. She's fine now. It's okay. Corrine brings in what is left of the money along with her lawyer to get her immunity in exchange for her testimony. And Kavanaugh tells her that he'll think about that.
Why will he think about that? Because Dutch decides to overstep and tell her to take care of his wife instead of someone else, which sets Kavanaugh off because you know what? His mangina got fucking angry and he got a little pissy.
Yeah, his ex-wife might be a little bit of a sensitive topic for him.
No, what?
Vic calls Kavanaugh and tells him that the bad guys are on the move with the grenades. Kavanaugh's able to get there before they go in. They are kind of listening on the wire as the boss kills one of the girls for trying to steal a grenade. When he says that they're going to check the other girls, they fear that they're going to find her wire, so they all rush in there, and they bust in just in time to save her. There's a big old fight with all the people. One of the guys chucks a grenade over in Kavanaugh's direction, but Lem, the good guy that he is, scoops it up and tosses it, saving Kavanaugh's life.
But where do we think that grenade was going to land, though? Did anybody else think she was going to die?
I mean,
this was well, I guess you've already seen it, but like this was the point. Like I thought, putting her undercover for the grenades, like to take her out. Like that's what I thought.
No.
Apparently, was not the case. Apparently, Vic thinks he can negotiate with her. So,
yep, like Cody said, Kavanaugh, with all the confusion, notices that Vic got a moment alone to talk to Amolia, and he's able to finally get them broken up, but we don't know what Vic told her. And the main grenade guy, he got away. Kavanaugh thanks Lem and then asks him to give him Vic so they can protect Lem. But Vic is kind of around and he kind of breaks that up. Dutch then shows Kavanaugh a flyer that was posted near Sadie's crime scene, showing the suspect with the mole that she mentioned in her description, but it was actually an ink stain on the flyers, not a mole. That's why the person doesn't actually have the mole in real life. So Dutch thinks that she was making up the story. There's also something about a beer bottle found with some stuff on it that kind of further shows that she made up the whole story. Kavanaugh brings her into the interrogation room. She tells him that she's doing good. Meanwhile, Vic and Lem are watching the camera feed over in the other room, and they realize that it's his ex-wife. She asks Kavanaugh if she can come home, but he tells her that she is going to be charged for filing a false police report and that she is going to get a psychiatric help. She tells him that she did it so that he could save her. They start to make out, but he stops and tells her again that she's going to be charged. She asks if he's abandoning her again. He tells her that he can't bend the rules for her. He apologizes and tries to calm her down. Vic tells Lem that they have found his weak spot, and Lem looks at Vic a little uncomfortably after he says that. And then Kavanaugh suddenly remembers that there's a camera there, and he rushes out just in time to see Vic and Lem leaving. When Vic turns and gives him a little smirk, Kavanaugh tells Lem that he's under arrest. He has Lem's gun and badge taken and tells Julian and Tina to arrest him. Then he has him thrown in the cage. And the episode ends with Kavanaugh going to see Antoine again, and he tells him that they have a deal. So that ends Kavanaugh.
Oh, Kavanaugh gets his mangina hurt and gets all upset. I was like, you're under arrest for 7 months old heroin? Like, that's what they're going to accuse me for? Just absolutely crazy. Just absolute crazy how it all worked out. Of course, like, again, he gets hot-headed, which I think will be the demise of Kavanaugh. I kind of see the writing on the wall on that. I might be wrong because the show has said, but like it makes sense because he snaps and he doesn't use his clear judgment when he gets super angry. So anger management skills might need to happen for him. But overall, the episode was really good. I thought, with the breakdown, I think it was a little weird for the whole like. Little convenient for the wife to do the bottle thing, and like I thought Vic and them would have like a tie into that. There was just nothing, just mental illness. She did tell him to shove it just like the bottle or whatever. That was wild. That was a wild comeback. Thought that was interesting. But like where it goes is going to be interesting because this is now another deal somebody has orchestrated with Antoine, and I love what he's like. Oh, I'd love to make this little canary sing. Like he knows everything about shading, so and I'm sure he holds some kind of grudge. But he's like, it doesn't seem nothing. The commit. I love when he's like sitting there. He's like, I already got all the amenities I want. I had pussy this morning. And I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the cellmate type. Like, jeez, like. So I thought it was funny. I thought that overall how it worked, but we'll see where it goes because again, I will not be waiting until Thursday next week to watch 10-11. So. And short episode. Fuck this show, by the way. What the fuck?
Yeah, this is another great episode. Like I will say this about the Shield. The Shield, I think, especially kind of as it's gone along, they really know how to end an episode.
Mhm.
It feels like every time they end an episode, like I just kind of want, I just want to snap on the next the next episode, especially kind of going through this season. The last 10 to 15 minutes of this were just perfect. Seeing Kavanaugh just stand and just there of his ex-wife, just super vulnerable and just not willing to give it up. Just like not like just standing there adamant that he's gonna charge his ex-wife with the false police report. Just crazy. And then, I gotta tell you, we have a show that's about. I have a show that's filled with narcissistic people. Cody has a show that's all about people in the mob. Kavanaugh this week is making a really strong case for me going back to back bad guy of the week. I'm trying to think of ways to talk myself out of it here, but like going back to Antoine Mitchell and then all the petty shit he does in the next episode.
All right.
My God, what are we?
And the fact that we find out when his wife was having trouble with mental illness that he just left her.
there is one that may in the Shield may give a case for bad guy of the week. It's more in this episode that we're about to talk about.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I love this episode. I think we need to shout out Forrest Whitaker again. He's just been amazing this whole season.
Right.
And as we get closer to seeing the character starts spiraling and stuff like that, it's a fantastic performance. He really elevates this season. But yeah,
he's kind of jumping up for me as kind of now maybe one of the all-time greats of like seasonal guest stars of a show.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is right up there right now.
Oh, so he only makes it one season? Is that what you're inferring?
I'm honestly not
Mark
sure.
doesn't know it. I'm not going to tell. So
I'm not
Mark,
sure.
Mark, you better shut the fuck up.
But it's Forrest Whitaker, and he's like this was an Oscar win year. Like I thought it was a seasonal role.
Yeah,
that is kind of crazy, and the weight loss is very noticeable between where it was.
Yeah, they do like a throwaway line, like maybe an episode or two ago about him, but he lost a lot of weight real quick.
Well, they threw his wife brought it up because you don't look healthy. And by the way, you make out with somebody, and then to pull your way out of it, you're like, you're getting charged with violence. This man couldn't even have sex right now. He had to tell her.
If my ex-wife was Gina Torres, I'm not going to fault him for that.
That's fair. It was just really funny time. Like, how do I pull myself out? You are getting charged.
And just like when he has that realization that, like, oh my God, there's a camera in this room right now. And he whips her around. Great stuff. But yeah, so that'll bring us to episode 9, Smoked. Lemons in jail. Yeah, Lemons in jail.
Locked away.
Yep. Vic and the lawyer come to visit him. They say that Kavanaugh had the IRS freeze the strike team's assets, so they haven't been able to pay his $100,000 bail yet. But Vic promises to have him out in the next 24 hours. Julian,
I love that the lawyer looks at him and is like, "Where the fuck you pulling this from, buddy?"
You don't want to know. Julian and Tina arrive at a crime scene, and Tina sees 2 men fighting. She tells them to freeze. One of them claims to be a cop, and the other one runs away. Julian just immediately yells at her for not knowing that he was an undercover cop, because he clearly had the colored tape tied around his arms. Duh. The undercover cop then comes to the barn to complain about Tina to Billings. Neither Danny nor Julian defend her, and Billings is pretty much at the point where he's going to have to fire her. But things happen. Help her out. Dutch finds a file on his chair containing pictures of Tina getting changed in the locker room. Dutch later gives Tina the folder of the photos and tells her not to worry, though. He's going to find out who's behind the camera But he should probably keep those photos for evidence, just to be on the safe side, you know.
Oh yeah.
Dutch talks to one of his fellow officers who says that he got the photos from Billings' desk. Dutch then confronts Billings about the pictures, and Billings and Dutch kind of have to work out a deal. So of course Billings can't fire her now, so he's gonna have Tina ignore the photos, and Dutch is gonna take her under his wing to kind of learn some things. Then we have Shane and the lawyer walk Kavanaugh through Terry's crime scene, the house there. And then Kavanaugh asks Shane about Angie and Antoine, some information that Shane is kind of a little bit shocked that he knows, but the lawyer kind of shuts that down quick. Then Kavanaugh has Vic walk in through, kind of tell his story. Kavanaugh also has another guest there. He has Terry's brother who confronts Vic and gets a little preachy on him, but the lawyer gets him out of there. The guys talk about how Kavanaugh knew that Shane was working with Antoine and trying to figure out how he could have possibly known that. Vic goes to pick up the kids, and Corrine tells him that her assets have been frozen as well, and that her lawyer told her not to let Vic see the kids, and she also can't take any money from him. A lady comes to see Vic at the barn with a message from Antoine that he wants to see him. Antoine wants to know what Vic would be willing to offer to keep Lem safe when he's transferred to Antoine's prison.
Oh.
So Vic confronts Kavanaugh about working with Antoine, and Kavanaugh tells him that if they come clean, he'll let Vic pick what prison they go to. Vic says that he's bluffing. He mentions Kavanaugh's ex-wife. They pretty much kind of threaten each other a little bit back and forth. Then we have a scene where Aceveda comes to visit Kavanaugh and informs him that he's resigned his position as reserve officer so that Kavanaugh will have no power over him, and that he's also launching a full investigation into his investigation. And then Kavanaugh tells Aceveda he's hoping Vic will come running to him for help, and then they will have him. Corrine confronts Kavanaugh about freezing her funds, and he tells her to convince Vic to confess. Corrine then upsets, and she doesn't want to go talk to Vic, so she confronts Danny about the baby, but Danny kind of just brushes her off a little bit.
Yeah, what the fuck? You dated Dutch. Like, where do your moral compass stand? Like, and no one's ever said Vic's a bad dad. Like, the one thing he tries to do is actually take care of his kids. So, like, relax, all right?
I mean, we don't even know if Vic is the father of the baby, so.
Yeah,
Let me tell you right now, we know it ain't Julian. He lost his wife in real life and this. And let me tell you right now, no one else is forking down there. Like we've seen Vic and Danny get busy.
I mean,
That baby's coming out bald and angry.
I mean, it's not fucking Billings' kid. Like they literally. I mean, there's a lot of mystery in this show. Not one lick of mystery surrounding that. They're like, listen, we know who you think it is, and you're right. It's this person.
We're not gonna say it out loud, but let me tell you, it is exactly who you think it is.
Baby's gonna pop out in a super tight t-shirt and a leather jacket. So Dutch gets called to a crime scene with a victim found in a trash container. And hey, Claudette is back at work. She's doing better. They talk with the mother of the trash victim. She tells them that he was involved in transporting organs. She then gives them the name of a friend who helped him. They question him next, and he tells them that the victim was also dealing with some super high quality weed. The strike team helped track the guy down behind the trash victim's death. and they make a deal to work with him and protect him for the money that they need for the bail. Vic brings him in for Dutch and Claudette to question, and he gives Vic the info on his stepson who was behind the robbery/murder thing, and he has the money that they need. So Claudette is also kind of put two and two together, and she's also looking for the stepson. So Vic calls Shane and Ronnie and tells them to get to the kid and the money before Claudette. So Shane and Ronnie break in, and they're able to get the money away from the kid and get out right as Vic and Dutch and Claudette all arrive. They leave the stepson to take the fall for the killing. The strike team then go to their safecracker friend and get him to post the bail for Lem. Vic tells Lem and the lawyer about the Antoine situation. And the lawyer tells Vic that she can't defend all of them. And Vic tells her that if she can only defend one person, that he wants her to defend Lem. So Lem is now out on bail. And then our episode ends. Vic visits Aceveda. Vic says that if he goes down, he's taking Aceveda with him for sure. Or he suggests that they could help each other with Kavanaugh. And Aceveda asks Vic what he has in mind. So we don't know. Are Aceveda and Vic going to work together to take out Kavanaugh? Or is Aceveda working with Kavanaugh to take down Vic? Who knows?
Yeah, so this fucking sucked to end this way. And honestly, it could go either way. Like Aceveda could easily say sure, and then do double cross Vic or work with Vic. So who knows?
I mean,
I love the
Vic has a lot of dirt on Aceveda too, so he could take down Aceveda pretty easily if he had to.
Yeah, but if he chooses just to work with Kavanaugh and get rid of Vic, then what's the point? I don't know. Who knows? I think that it was really funny. The cat and mouse between Claudette and Vic was basically, why'd you call him? We needed muscle. All right, why don't we go pick him up? Nah, you can join us. All right, and then they get there and then call, and then him running out the back of the thing, like out the window while Vic's there's all clear. And then I love when he got back to the barn, he's like, all right, but they said they stole the money. Well, his day's memory's not going to save us, and it's my off day, so it's on to you guys. Peace out.
You guys can figure out the rest of this. It's cool.
Goodbye. I was like, he was so up their asses as soon as he got, yeah, peace. It's my off day. I'm not doing shit. Bye. So it's just
I hope you find the guy. That's all I was supposed to do.
Yeah, I found him. It's my off day. Fuck off. Good luck. I'm going to tell you. So I thought that was really funny, but overall, really liked the episode. Really liked it so much that I'm really pissed off that I have to didn't get to start the next episode.
God, I can't wait to see you guys' reactions to 10 and 11.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting stuff in this one. Going back to the Kavanaugh thing, I mean, what you did to Corinne is fucking stupid. I mean, this is the most petty bullshit ever. This is so dumb.
Oh, freezing the accounts? What a fucking asshole!
I mean, she, whatever. I that thing alone is maybe Kavanaugh really can go back to back here. I can't nothing that happened this week I think pissed me off more than that.
I would say you jumped the gun making him bad guy last week, but Cody made him bad guy the first week it was here. So
it's really tough.
Also, did we even talk about the camera?
Oh yeah, I mean,
and the pictures.
Yeah, that was the last episode with Tina.
Oh, that was this episode.
No, that was the last episode, wasn't it?
No, it was this episode because she gets promoted to detective at the end of she just gets to follow Dutch around because Dutch gives him some pictures back. Oh, yeah. But the bad guy of the week is the bad guy of the week is the chief that literally put a camera in the girls' locker room.
He was trying to find out who was robbing the vending machines.
I thought they had the same locker room though, so it's it's
I mean,
like kind
it
of
is a shared
unit.
locker room.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, doesn't matter. You don't take it, and then you don't just print out the pictures of her.
He was trying to catch a thief too.
He was trying
Like, I
to
mean,
keep the pictures out of the
yeah,
hands of
buddy.
wrongdoers.
Yeah, perfect. Again, it doesn't matter what show. You don't defend the women ever.
well,
You're,
I mean,
you two are
Tina
scumbags.
almost killed an undercover cop.
So what? The training is terrible in there.
yeah.
He's still around, so
Julian
that's
beat
good.
the shit. Julian beat the shit out of people constantly. He took off his vest and was going to get shot. Like, and he's going to criticize people on how to do police work. Fuck off.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
fair.
I mean,
You told her about the pictures. You fucking creep.
yeah, that was weird. I don't know why he was surprised about that.
Yeah, Billings probably isn't the best police chief in the show so far.
He's worried about a fucking vending machine. Even Kavanaugh says at one point, he goes, no wonder there's so much corruption here. This guy's worried about a vending machine.
And I think
He's going out of pocket for that thing. I mean, come on.
I
You
think
know
it's
how much
connected
he went out of
to-
pocket for that couch? Now he's
You
got to
know
worry
what?
about the vending machine?
You know what? Go eat your fucking your rolls and shut up.
Mark's got a lot of talking to do now. He doesn't have time for roles.
Oh, all right. Well, you mentioned that. I really think this could be my shortest week. I really was struggling. to find-
What? All
I'm
right,
gonna-
everybody clock him. Let's see where we're at.
It depends on how much of the Pete stuff he cuts out.
I mean, like, listen, we could be pausing a lot in this first episode. Like, I see plenty of spots here. Like, we'll see where we get.
You think?
All right. Start out first. What is it? Episode? Yeah, it's episode 8. Lady Lazarus. Yeah. So Pete is on his commuter train, and that guy, I think his name was Howard. I can't remember his name, but he was telling him about life insurance and like how like he should look into his life insurance because he may be getting screwed on that. He also tells him about some illicit affair he has and about his apartment in the city. So I don't know, maybe just food for thought, at least for Pete and that in that light. Roger then tells Pete that there's some sporting goods client that would rather have him represent him over Roger. And Roger, I think, was somewhat okay with it because he got to see Pete carry out those skates in like just some really awkward manner. And then we throughout kind of the first 15 minutes, we see Megan like acting real mysterious in the office. Like she's like trying to keep something from people. We don't really know what it is.
I thought she was getting a divorce. Wasn't a divorce.
Yeah, then we see Pete's going on his way home, and what do you know? He meets the wife of that insurance salesman. I guess she thought like he was going to give her a ride home, and like he didn't show. He's like, you know what? I'll give you a ride home. It's cool. Like he takes her on the ride home. She says something about like her not or him not caring about her, and Pete's like, Pete says like, you know what? I'm going to be the good guy. Like I'm not leaving till I think you're not hysterical anymore. And then he has sex with her, like the total Pete move on that part, because why not? I mean, I thought, maybe Don didn't tell him about his affair with that teacher, but like Pete should know that this is a terrible idea. We then see Peggy is being put in the middle of a weird thing between Don and Megan because Megan kind of lied about where she was gonna be, and Don is like, "Hey, where is she?" And Peggy is like, "Oh fuck, I didn't realize I had to lie for Megan. I'm just gonna, not get in the middle of this." And so like kind of put her in a bit of an awkward position there. Pete then calls Beth from work because that wife wanted to see her again. She's like, "Nah, we can't do this again." There's just kind of just leave it as like a happy memory, and we can go on from there. Then yeah, at some point Peggy. Oh yeah, okay. Because she kind of Megan and Peggy get into it about making her lie for her, and she's like, "Oh well, but I got this audition for like this off Broadway play, and I wanted to see if I can get it. I didn't, by the way, but I just wanted to see." And then of course Peggy gets all upset about that of like maybe her not really being into it. Megan then comes clean about the audition to Dawn. she kind of makes it clear that acting is her real passion and not advertising. And Don is like kind of upset about it, but he's like, I don't really want to make you stay in advertising. So like, if you want to be an actress, like I'll be okay with that. It's fine.
I think he's more upset that she like woke him up in the middle of the night to tell him this.
I mean, he needs his 5 hours. Like, how do you think he does advertising work and drink all day? Like, he needs those like 4 or 5 hours of sleep to
His
be able.
afternoon naps don't cover that.
Yeah, they go into work the next day. Dawn tells Joan that Megan's leaving. She says something about setting up a lunch for her because like they'll probably keep seeing her. Megan tells the crew about the copywriting crew that she's going back to acting. Ginsburg thought Dawn had fired her, which is crazy. So we go out to that and then see them. Dawn makes a final goodbye to her in the office. And then they're playing some. Oh yeah, they're playing some song. I just thought it was funny that we see Ginsburg drop the seasonal F bomb around season 5 is when they have an F bomb, one F bomb a year. I don't know why they waited to season 5 to start doing that.
I like startled. It startled me. Yeah, I was like,
it's a weird spot too. Like
I
I
was
don't
like,
know.
you're allowed to say F word? What?
We then see Pete. He manufactures a reason to go over to the insurance guy's house. He's like, you know what?
What a Pete! Like this dude is fucking unhinged. You said there's a turnaround moment. This dude's getting more and more creepy. They fool around. You know what? Don't blame him a bit. Very attractive woman, Pete. I understand. Whatever. The fact that you went like she shuts it down because she's so nervous because they ride the same train and all the stuff, and you show up in her house with her husband. You're a crazy person. You need to be mentally lobotomized.
If he killed everyone in that house, I wouldn't have even blinked.
This is where Pete snaps. Pete kills somebody, and Vic kicks open the door, and like Vic's through there to take him. No, but it's like this whole overall like sitting there. I'm like, there's no fucking way that. And then he's like, he leaves the room. He's like, maybe at this. No, get the fuck out of here, Pete. You fucking weirdo.
I mean, their affair was like borderline consensual in the first place. So, yeah,
so weird.
Yeah. So, yeah, Pete does that. We then go.
You want to defend him? You want to defend him here? I'll give you the core. We want to say something?
Nah, I'm cool. We'll just
Okay.
go.
DC still got 2 seasons to turn it around.
Listen, I knew going into 5, like this is the worst Pete shit. I thought everything in season 5, I thought was the worst stuff that Pete.
His head is under fucking water at the like it's like in a movie where there's quicksand. And his head's about to go under, and you're like, don't worry, Pete's gonna pull it out, man. Trust me. But he's dead. He's the horse in Never-Ending Story.
I will be honest about this because a lot of the Pete stuff
I'm
from
proud.
like season,
Pete, please be honest.
From season 1 to season 4, I didn't think it was all that bad. Just because, like, but you guys like kept bringing in your Pete hate throughout it. Like, I don't know. This is not
we brought up the Pete hate when he raped that nanny.
You mean when the girl spills the drink on the dress, and he goes and he offers to go get her a new one, and then shows up drunkenly, and when she says, "I have a boyfriend, I can't do this," and then proceeds to knock on her door and say, "I didn't get to see it on," and then have sex with her. What level of bad is that, Mark? I'm asking for a friend. Oh, and she was emotionally disturbed where the one of the people of the house cleaner had to say, "Hey, you can't sleep with one girl. So what are we doing?"
I thought at least going into season 5, the culmination of everything going in season 5, I think did hit me initially. Like, okay, this is the season where Pete has the biggest ego when he feels like he can kind of just do whatever he wants. Like that version of Pete is the worst version of Pete. And I feel like everything kind of before then was like, okay, this is culminating till this version of Pete, which is really bad. And at that, like later stuff happens, but like, I knew this was going to be the worst season. I knew it. Like, I'm not going to be able to defend Pete at all. Like here,
If you
like,
have
there's
Cody
no
rooting
reason.
for Pete at the end of this show, then that's going to be one of the most amazing transformations.
I mean, I'm curious to see what happens later on, but
We'll see.
those are conversations for other days. Yeah, we're almost done here. Yeah, so Peggy and Don then go over to a Cool Whip meeting. They were supposed to, Don and Megan were supposed to put on a display for Cool Whip, and what do you know? The chemistry between Peggy and Don is not 100% there, so they
You
kind of
know
disappoint
what?
the Cool Whip people.
To be fair,
You know
they
when I
didn't
was on the
practice.
You know when I was on the fence, I was like, I wasn't even on the fence, but I was like, I would be surprised if this show put those two together. But like, I don't see it happening. Like, you know what? Let's just set that shit afire. They have about as much chemistry as my skin and sandpaper. I'll tell you right now, don't go together well at all.
Well, they weren't happy with each other because, like, Don kind of blamed Peggy for being mean to
They
her.
haven't been happy with each other since season 1 ever. They're always pissed about something with each other.
Yeah, Principal Building got out of there so fast when they just started showing that shit show.
Yeah, so like Don and Peggy are not on like a great terms by the end of this one. Yeah, they mentioned the thing about the Beth at the hotel. Pete gets stood up and he leaves angrily, and then that's when we get like the little montage. With
She
the
said
Beatles
no.
song.
She said no.
I don't know. Pete was like, I don't know, maybe she'll change her mind. It was unlikely, but
Hey, Mom, I want a red bike for Christmas. No. Shows up Christmas morning. Where the fuck's the bike? I said no.
He's like, no, it's just a pit stop on the road to yes.
Well, playing hard to get, are we? Come here, baby. Let me have another dream in my office about you, fucking weirdo.
yeah, that does it with Lady Lazarus. I don't know if you guys got any other stuff you got to get off your chest.
I will
Is
say
that it?
this
Yeah,
is like this is where I start loving Ginsburg. Ginsburg becomes one of my favorite characters this year. I just love that, like, one of his first reactions to Megan leaving is like, she owes me $15 for lunches. I can't just go ask Don for that money.
Honestly, Ginsburg and what's the guy that I gave bad guy to the week with?
Stan.
Stan, yeah.
Yeah. They're both becoming some rock solid comedic reliefs. So, like, they'll like make like he just makes like the most blatant, just rude comments and just sits there and like, stop it, Logan, my bad. Like, it's just like he should leave you. Like, you don't deserve him. They're both really funny, and he's like, yeah, that was me $15. I can't ask Don for the money. Like, it's just those work really well. And then like Pete is in his own fucking world.
Oh yeah.
I guess that's the dream sequence is the next episode.
I think that's coming up still. Yeah.
My God, I thought this was not AMC. I thought we switched to HBO real fast. I was like, we're gonna see titties. What are we doing here? But of course, it's just Pete fucking dreaming. But no, I think it's a good episode overall. Weird, but good.
There was another scene I really liked too, was when Megan's first leaving the agency after she's pretty much done, and Don sees her off, and then Don's like, you feel like he's going to chase after her, and he pushes the button for the elevator, and he's about to get in, and the door opens, it's just an empty elevator shaft, and that's pretty much, I guess, the universe telling him, no, just let her go.
Yeah, I think it's good too to separate. Well, let's be real. If she didn't quit her job, they're getting divorced tomorrow. They were just not working as overall. They were now they may still get divorced, but I'm telling you right now, where it's trending, it was in dire strait. They could not work. They could not work, sleep, shit, like together all the time. It was going to be a problem.
I mean, the best thing that I think they did with that is show, however, the first 8 episodes, that she was actually good at this job. She could actually do it well, but she just didn't want to do it anymore. It would have been really easy to say, Megan really sucks at this, and that's why she's got to go back to acting. Like, no, she actually has like good instincts, at least at the table. least sort of like Peggy, especially from what we saw, like I think it was the last episode where she kind of threw that layup up to Dawn. Like, but no, at least doing this with her, I think, kind of puts her and Dawn like in a very interesting spot. All right, and suppose that is it. We're gonna go into Dark. Oh, is it already on Dark Shadows?
I just moved it.
Oh, okay, I couldn't tell. All right, yeah, episode 9, Dark Shadows. Yeah, we go. We see a jump scare by Betty. She really has not been in the season that much, but get to see her a lot this episode. She's trying to lose weight. We throughout this episode we see her go to a lot of Weight Watchers meetings. Trying to get back up to her fighting shape. There was something about Pete. Thought like, or at least I got an in, or he thought he got an in with like some New York Times guy. He's like, yeah, they're going to do an article on us, and I guess they were trying to figure out, kind of submit kind of interesting ads they did for the year to kind of spotlight them a bit. And I think Don, kind of looking over most of those, realizing, oh shit, like kind of Ginsburg has a lot of like our best work over the last year, and like that kind of gets a little bit under Don's skin a little bit. I don't know if he really likes that 100%. Bert then asked Roger to help with this Jewish wine account. He says, "Hey, you know who's also Jewish? Your ex-wife now." Or no, he didn't think she was his ex-wife yet. He's like, "What? Your wife?" He's like, "What? Mona's not." Like, yeah, no, Mona's not Jewish. Like, no, like, well, I'm getting divorced here again. So, like, Bert was at least surprised to hear that. Don then stayed at work rather than be with his kids. He's trying to think of ideas for Snowball. Came up with like this devil like hell thing for Snowball. Thought he thought it could be good. Betty then goes to pick up the kids, and she's feeling a bit self-conscious. She wanted to she still didn't think she looked that good, and then she saw Megan like half naked. She's like, God damn it, what the fuck? Like, how can I compete with that? So she gets all upset there. Megan then gets into an argument with one of her actor friends because she says, "Hey, you're not really struggling. You're up in this nice apartment or whatever." Roger then asks Ginsburg to work secretly for that Jewish wine account. And then once again, we see Roger have to part ways of a lot of cash because he can't keep less than like $1,000 on him for some reason. Like, I don't know.
How
He's
much
doing
is like $1,000 back
cash.
then? Isn't that like $5,000 or something like that now?
What's crazy is he got mugged last season. Or yeah, he got mugged last season. I thought, hey, maybe he'll keep less cash on him.
I'm
Like,
still pretty convinced he hired that mugger to do that.
Yeah, and then as Cody once said, we see Pete having a bit of a daydream about Beth, that she came into his office with like this fur coat, wanted to have sex with him on the spot because of the New York Times article. She read the New York Times article and was like, oh, I remember this guy Pete. Really hilarious. Yeah, then we see Betty's like helping the kids out with the homework, and Sally's doing a family tree assignment. Betty reads like a bit of a love note from Dawn to Megan, and she's like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck with Dawn today. Say, you know what? Hey, Sally, you should actually put your dad's first wife on there, Anna Draper. He's like, oh, I didn't know he had a first wife. Yeah, you should probably just ask Megan about it. See what she says. Fucking bitch.
See you next Tuesday. What a bitch.
Well, see, Mark, at least you get the complete like turnaround for Cody on Betty.
How did you not bet money on that one? You would have won so well. You put your horses in front of the beat wagon. Oh yeah, you know what? That makes sense. You defend the men on this show like they're fucking Jesus Christ and God himself.
I watched the show twice, and both times I did not like Betty at all. I felt pretty confident y'all were not going to like Betty from the start. And then you started liking her at the beginning. I'm like, I don't know where this is coming from.
Betty was not a problem.
Like January Jones, the Betty.
Betty wasn't a problem until they got divorced. She was just the person getting cheated on left, right, and center. He didn't do anything.
suppose so. Yeah, but
Yeah, I suppose. Don had to go get the cake. What do you want from him, man?
well, yeah, like they're starting to pitch their snowball ideas, and at least I guess Ginsburg has the get people getting hit in the face with snowball. Like Don has the devil idea. Accounts did kind of seem to like Ginsburg's idea a little bit better, and that gave Ginsburg a little bit of pep in his step. Sally then confronts Megan about Anna, and she's like, "Huh? I know you're a liar. How come you're not lying to me?" And I again forgot that. Oh yeah, Don already told Megan about Anna, so and she kind of has to say, "Hey, well, they got married for this reason. It's just it wasn't like a love thing, and you should probably ask your dad about it later because I didn't think it was my place." And then Sally was like, "Oh, whatever, you're a fucking bitch," or whatever. She kind of got mad at Megan for not telling her, which then
Oh,
made Megan want to cry.
yeah. Oh, you're gonna go cry? You're gonna go cry? And then then she sits there and she's like, and you better not tell him. I could have looked at that. Sally, I'm a fucking adult, you little bitch. Like I've been to whatever. Like, you better not tell him. I thought we were friends. We are friends. No, you're her stepmom. Shut up, Megan. Fucking
Yes.
toddler.
Yeah, Sally really showed that she was Betty's kid at that moment. I gotta
Oh, why don't you go
Uh,
cry? Why don't you go cry?
Yeah, then Megan then tells Don that Sally knows about Anna, and he is immediately furious. Is about to very angrily call Betty. Megan is like, "You'll be giving her exactly what she wants if you go and do that." And then Don is like, "Yeah, I guess you're right." And then we'll just I'll figure out something to tell Sally in the morning. Uh, he gets woken up by Pete because apparently the article did not turn out the way that he wanted. And then Don is like, "Yeah, maybe don't bother me about this shit in the morning. Like, you deal with your own problems." And
Don't
then
call
that,
me. Don't call me early in the morning with your failures. One of the best lines ever. Don't call me with your failures. Like, I was dying. I was like, yes.
Yeah, Don's got some good ones this week.
I mean, the best one's coming up.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Then he then tells. That's when Sally's up in the morning. He tells Sally about Anna and gets her to apologize to Megan for what she said. Uh, Peggy then gets upset at Roger for not asking for her work on the wine account because heard from Ginsburg that he's working on it. And Roger's like, "Well, whatever the fuck. Listen, I just own this place, all right? I don't know what you want from me about this." Betty then asks Sally like how Megan reacted to being asked about Anna, and Sally's like, "Oh yeah, no, we talked about it, and he showed me pictures, and like, yeah, it was kind of cool." And then like Betty gets frustrated and like she throws like something at the wall, like wanting to kind of fuck with Don. I mean, bitch. Like there's nothing really more to say that one.
Yeah, she finds out that Don's already told Megan all that stuff that he hid from her all those years. Don actually learned from his first wedding, her first marriage.
Yeah, Roger then has his dinner, where he has to sell that wine account. Also with Jane there, she agreed to be there as long as he helped buy her a new apartment, so she didn't have to live in the one that she lived with Roger in. It seems to go pretty well. They're able to sell it, and like Roger's like, "Hey, why don't you take me to that apartment of yours? Let me see it." And they have sex.
They break
like
it
they
up.
do.
No.
And Roger, just can't really control himself on that one. And then they
I
wake up
do
the
love
next morning.
Roger's like, this is a very expensive phone call. Yes, yes, it is.
And of course, they wake up the next morning, and Jane is a bit upset. And then Roger's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "What? You fucking ruined this too. Like now I'm gonna think about you whenever I'm in this apartment. The fuck is that shit?" He's like, "Oh yeah, sorry about that." And then he just kind of takes off and leaves. Didn't mean to do that. We then see Harry come back from the snowball meeting. Ginsburg is all giddy. He's like, "Oh, like you sold the idea? Oh, great." And then he hears that they really like that hell idea. He's like, "What do you mean the hell idea?" I was like, "Yeah, we just sold the hell idea. We just left the other one in the car." He's like, "What the fuck? They didn't even hear it?" So he gets upset and he goes and confronts Don about it. He's like, "Come on, like really, you gotta do this to kind of make yourself look like the big man." he's, he's like, "What?" He's like, I don't really know the setup about it, but he kind of
I
tells
was
him
like,
that
I feel sorry for you, or
I,
something like that.
I feel sorry for you. And then Don is like, "Yeah, I don't think about you at all," and then just leaves him in the elevator.
We need to redo the opening intro for the show and get that line in there.
I don't think of you at all.
Yeah, then we see everybody celebrate Thanksgiving. Like Betty's got like her one piece of turkey and slither of cranberry sauce, and that seems to be the end of Dark Shadows.
Such a bitch, Betty. Holy shit. Using her kid as fucking like warfare for him. Sorry you saw Megan's non 3 kid tits in a bra and you got so upset that you decided, well, fuck, why don't you ask about Anna? That's genius. And then, well, is this the episode where Pete had the dream?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the most like. We think there's stuff cut out from the other scene from the FX show from the Shield. I'm pretty sure there's a nipple cut out from this show because I was like, "Good heavens, what are we about to see?" I was like, and then Pete's just fantasizing about it because it's not the first time he got busy in a fucking his office, so it wouldn't be
Yeah.
the first time, won't be the last.
He's gonna
but
flip
yeah.
the cushion again the other way.
They never cleaned that cushion either. That cushion stayed there forever, never cleaned it.
Well,
Yeah,
isn't
but
that couch
overall,
probably in Harry's office now?
yeah. But overall, really good episode. Overall, well, a little family dynamics, but overall good.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great episode. Like I said, that line at the end, that's definitely probably my favorite Don line. And just my notes here, I got a string of wonderful. I got Pete is gross, Betty is petty, and Sally is kind of a dick. Pretty
Yep.
much sums up this episode.
Very much so.
Yeah, I mean, I know what I said about the Kavanaugh stuff, but I don't know. I'm sitting here reading shit. I mean, Betty really made a case about just bringing up Anna for like no good reason at all. just
like, imagine if Don hadn't told Megan that, and she would have pulled that maneuver. It's like, oh.
Yeah, bitch. All right, finish up. Going on to episode 10, Christmas Waltz. Christmas Waltz. We see Lane wakes up in the middle of the night. He's getting a phone call from his tax attorney, I'm assuming. He owes some back taxes, and he says, like, good news. I got them to. You just got to send them about like 2,500 pounds, and you're good to go. He's like, the fuck. I kind of hired you so I wouldn't have to pay any money. He's like, well, you either pay this money or you go to prison. So I don't know what you want from me. So Lane needs to get some money fast. He ends up going over to their accountant at the bank and like, hey, can you extend us a line of credit and give me about $50,000? They are able to accept it. Pete then says, hey, I got a new in for the car. That British guy, like, yeah, he got fired, but now they have a new guy, and I'm in it with him. So like, we're now back in the running to get a Jaguar again. We then see Harry get reached out to by Paul Kinsey of all people, and he wants him to meet him up at like some place in New York. Apparently, Paul Kinsey is converted to Hinduism, and he's got really big into that. And he has Harry at one of these sessions, so to speak, where he gets him singing, and Harry, I guess, just kind of losing himself in there. So, got a bit of a crazy place to see Paul. Lane then tries to sell like this extra line of credit as a surplus so that he can say like, hey, we can give everybody Christmas bonuses this year. And he wants to give them out early, but nobody would bite on that. So like he now is forced to kind of go into a bit of a scheme. Roger then makes clear wants to be a part of Joan's kid's life, but Joan is not having it at all. He's like, nah, fuck that. Yeah, we're good the way we are. Don and Megan go to a pretty shitty play, and then they turn it into a fight about his profession because why not? Paul then gets Harry over to like a restaurant where he talks to him about kind of what he wants to do. Seems like Paul kind of he wants to find a way out of this congregation. He But he knows he needs money to do it, and like he wants to create a new life with this girl that he met, Lakshi or whatever the fuck her name is. So Kinsey is like, you know what? I wrote this spec script for a Star Trek episode. I think it's really good. You should hand it to somebody over there at Warner Brothers, Harry, and like you can get us some money. So then we then leave the restaurant. We then see Lane showing up after hours, and he writes himself a check to pay off his British taxes, and he has to forge Don's signature to do it. We then see Harry go to ask advice from Peggy about the Kinsey dilemma, about saying, yeah, the script really sucks. And then Peggy is like, well, if he sucks at it, he probably shouldn't be doing it. Harry gets frustrated because he didn't like Peggy's advice. Joan then gets served divorce papers, and she then yells at the kind of squirrely receptionist they have working at the front. Don then says, "You know what? Let's just go out and let's just kind of try to forget about this a little bit."
The way you sell things, I would like you to defend all my actions by how you describe. She takes a plain statue and bounces it off her desk. You say she just screamed at her. She came at her with a weapon.
I mean, I'll give it. I mean, I feel like Joan is justified. I mean, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, why? Like, I got served
This-
here, and all
this
he did
isn't
was
a-
like,
You just
said
got
he has
done saying that
crap.
Mark doesn't defend any of the women, and he's going to bat for Joan
no,
here.
no. This isn't that either whether Joan is justified or not. The way you just brushed it under the rug that she just raised her voice at Joan when she took a heavy object and bashed, and the girl's like, "You can't do that here."
I mean, also, was it Earth? No, it was last year. Last year, where she told all those guys she hopes they die in Vietnam. It could have been a lot worse.
I hope
Like,
you get drafted and die in Vietnam.
That might be
it felt
the
less
best
than that.
show.
So anyway, yeah. So Don takes her out at night on the town. They play husband and wife at this car dealership, and Don then writes a hefty check as collateral. They drive out in town with this nice car. Then they go have a quiet drink at a bar where they talk about their life and also kind of it throws a little bit of shade at Don, at least for the stuff that he's doing, about exactly saying that, yeah, Don, this is your problem. Harry then gets a visit from the girl that Kenzie is with at the office, and she really makes the hard sell to Harry about her being into him. And what do you know? Harry does the scumbag move like he usually does, and he has sex with her in his office. And then afterwards, she drops the act pretty quick, and he says, "Yeah, you gotta stay the fuck away from Kinsey. He has a terrible script. I know it sucks. He's meant to be with this Hindu congregation, not only because like he's unhappy if he does, but also like he's our best recruiter. Like he really knows how to sell. Like so, she doesn't even really like him all that much, and so she just kind of wants Harry to stay away from him to not poison his mind, so to speak." Dawn then comes home to an angry Megan because she thought he was cheating on her. And yeah, she throws a plate of spaghetti at the wall, and then very angrily tries to get Dawn to just have a really awkward silent dinner with her. Lane then spins a story to his wife to kind of keep her from spending money during Christmas, about just kind of staying home. Harry then visits Kenzie one last time, where he lies about his work being good. Says, "You know what? You should follow your dream and head over to Los Angeles to pursue it. Here's $500 and just leave right now and then just don't talk to anybody from there," which is arguably the nicest thing that Harry has done this entire show. We then get to Pete tells the partners that Mohawk is suspending all work because they're going on strike, and Lane was like, "Oh, but what about the Christmas bonuses?" Like, you know what? You got a good point. Everybody should get them. The partners will defer those, so the partners are getting no bonuses. And like Lane is like, "The fuck, man! Like, okay, I guess I'll figure something out later." They then gather together to tell him about Mohawk, but they're also in the running for Jaguar, and then people are kind of happy about that. And then Don gives his inspirational speech of like, we're gonna have Christmas here, we're gonna spend all the weekends here, and we're gonna fucking nail Jaguar because they're gonna know that we have arrived. And then everybody's happy, ready to work on Jaguar, and Lane has a very nervous, scared look on his face. And that is the end of Christmas Waltz.
Yeah. This is 2/3 of a great episode. Like, I love the stuff with Lane and his spiral. I love all the Don and Joan stuff. But God, that Kinsey Harry storyline is just. Ugh.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it pretty much seems like a one and done. So
Let's hope. And then for her to bend over the table and be like, from this way, I want you to stay away from him. I'm just like, I didn't need the whole religious thing. That was just,
and he was right too. She already gave up her chip. I don't understand why she's just like, yeah, no, just leave him alone now. Tell him the script sucks. Like, why would I?
Yeah, it was so weird. It was so weird, but overall, yeah, let's hope it's just a one-off. Like, we haven't heard about the lawnmower since, that happened. Like, we don't really hear much from that anymore, so.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's. So, I mean, that's not bad. And, I mean,
that was like 2 firms ago.
Yeah. Man, I think I was keeping time. I think this is half an hour. This is by far my shortest one. I feel like went by really quick.
Did you really keep it? Did you really?
I mean, we were just over an hour, I think, when we were finished with Matt. It's 1:36 on this thing, so like half an hour. That's like my best time. Not gonna get any better than that. I'll just say that.
So next week you got to see if you can beat that time.
Oh, it's not happening. I will not promise anything.
I can definitely confirm that's not going to happen next week.
No way that's happening.
Fair enough. Well, we're gonna go to Jersey. Marco Polo. I'm sorry, but like these two shows, I'm losing it. I'm just this one is bad. I just like the other shows. But with that being said, Carmine Jr. is like gifting people washing machines and dryers or whatever, which is just gonna piss off Johnny Sacks. But he has a boat sinking. He's like, I just boated this from Florida. What the hell's wrong with it? So somebody tampered with his boat. Carmela's dad is on top of the roof and ends up falling into a bush. They're in the hospital, and basically there's a party coming up for him. And Mom's basically suggesting not to bring Tony over. Carmela agrees overall that she shouldn't bring Tony. Tony meets up with Johnny Sacks. He got a convertible. Tony makes a fat joke about his wife. I don't think Johnny Sacks catches on. He goes, "Has your wife been in this car yet?" Pretty tight. No, with a knee, she ain't been in. I'm like, yeah, that's why. But they're having a little over conversation. The guy that broke his arm and got beat to shit is doing the lawn work, basically the free work around Johnny Sacks. But they're driving. By the way, I thought we were about to. I know we lose James Gandolfini in real life. When that car did the, I was like, we're gonna lose them right now. They're both dead, like gone. What the fuck? But yeah, he gets the car. Midlife crisis, basically. Carmela drops over at Tony's. Basically tells him he doesn't think he's going. And Tony kind of lightens the load with it and is like, I didn't plan on going. Like, I wasn't going to go. So no big deal. They end up fighting, of course, because that's what they do. Bachla goes over to Junior. Junior talks about the party. Junior picks up the phone and calls him and goes, "You have a party. When our age, every day's a surprise. Am I right?" It's like Bachla's like, "Don't do this." He's like, "Ah, you having a
That's another
party?
bad guy of the week nomination right there.
You have a party. Enjoy." Blah blah blah. I can't go because the house arrest. You know what I mean?
It's like he didn't even have
Tony.
to. He didn't even have to tell him that. I'm like, he knows he's on house arrest.
He did. Tony and Tony meet, and basically is like Steve Buscemi's character wants more like work, like more money and stuff. And Tony basically goes, just eat what's on your plate right now. Okay? Like, calm down, like don't overfill, like you'll be fine. You just got back in the game, you just been out, like don't worry. Vincent basically got his car crashed in at the end of the episode, and Pussy's widow is running the body shop for it, and Tony is basically like they're gonna fix up the car, but Tony needs to stop by and talk to her about like costs and stuff. Then they have a family dinner. Carmela talks about Tony not being invited, and the dad goes, "Well, if he's not the head of the house ain't here, then I'm not coming. Like, there's no way. Like, why can't he be here? It's his house too." Carmela, Tony and Pussy's widow talk on the phone, and it was like, "Just keep the cost in line." Like what I told you about. Like, you got to make a call whatever you feel is right. Like, you judge. And she's like, "What the fuck? Like, it's gonna cost so much money for this." And then he hangs up the phone. He's like fucking smiling his ass off. He calls Tony up. Tony calls Tony up and basically says, "Hey, they're gonna go pick up this car. I want you to be there when they show up because and if need you to make sure everything goes right." I didn't know that was Frankie Valli, but apparently that's Frankie Valli that plays Rusty in this. The guy that's basically trying to get other Tony, to whack not Carmine Jr., right? But like a member of his crew.
Yeah.
No, a member of Johnny Sax's crew. Like
Yeah.
Johnny Sax's crew, because they're with Carmine Jr. And he's like, "Hey, my cousin wants to be disassociated with this. I'm not gonna do that. I'm sorry, can't do that. No way." He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, you can think about it. Like, just think about it." And then Frankie Valli like does that Frank like stare when he does that impression. He's like, "No, like not working for me at all, buddy." Carmela calls up Tony and basically invites him to the party. He doesn't want to. Other Tony shows up with his two kids, where they take the pool chair in there and basically drops them off for babysitting while Tony goes and helps them pick up the car. I don't like how other Tony, is staring at Meadow. Don't like it at all. It was very uncomfortable. But she comes over and like, "I'm making the cake. We already have dessert, blah blah blah. But this is Grandpa's favorite." Like, they get into a little pissy match. "I am helping. I'm making the dessert."
We've already learned you don't want Meadow cooking in that kitchen.
No, you fucking don't. They go pick up the seat. And Vincent basically says that the chair is like wrong. Like, he goes, "We'll fix the rails." And Pussy's widow's like, "We already fixed the fucking chair. They're trying to take me for $2,000 of a fucking factory seat." It's all right. It's all right. It'll work out. So they end up doing that. Basically, Carmela's family is like got these like doctors, like Italians or whatever. So, and they're wanting to impress, like basically a big impression. Tony shows up with fucking sausages around his neck, starts doing the dance like, "Oh, you want these?" Blah blah blah. Basically embarrassing them, and it gets revealed like it was never about Tony like coming. It's because your fan, like, you didn't want to be embarrassed with the family. So, and they keep goofing off. The family leaves, and then everybody ends up leaving, and it's like they're all families hanging around the pool. Where Tony just takes Carmela and drops her into the fucking pool. They end up Each one of them gets out at one point. They end up start making out, fooling around inside the pool. And it's not like anything's going to stay, but it's like a one time they're back to like kissing and stuff. Um, um, what? I'm trying to remember. Tony, the other Tony, is meeting with his son. Like they see his sons, and he's got like a pin collection. Is there any like note?
Yeah, he like
Or-
took it from AJ's closet or something.
Oh yeah, they stole stuff. So what a
Yeah.
shocker. Just like the family. But they both ended up in the same bed, and Tony like wakes up and is like, "Well, that fucking can't happen anymore." And that's basically how the episode ends. What's your guys' thoughts on Marco Polo?
Oh, you missed at the end there. Crazy Eyes Tony actually does the hit on the guys, and then gets his foot ran over with the car.
Is that at the end of this episode?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I think
it is.
very much towards the end there. Might not be
Okay,
the last
so-
scene, but yeah.
I thought that was the previous. I thought that was next episode.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this was really good. But I enjoyed kind of seeing like the family dynamic and stuff. Kind of, you actually get to kind of see how they all work together. You can actually kind of see what it's like when Tony and Carmella are kind of like on the same page, and you can see how they've kind of lasted as long as they did. I feel sorry for Pussy's widow. She just gets dragged through so much stuff, and she's Tony just letting her get abused over there with Phil and stuff. But yeah, good episode.
Yeah, like seeing Phil just sit in that fucking car is like, it feels off kilter. Like I don't know, like, and this paint looks duller. Like you sure you got like the right paint?
What's this dent in the back that's got nothing to do with the accident?
It was a front-end collision, Phil. Like nothing happened to the back. Just that was great. And like, yeah, Tony trying to like reason with him, like just not getting anywhere. I think the thing I do really appreciate about this show is that every time we see like they are capable of having good family moments.
Mhm.
Like, you know, them being a family was never really a problem because it does happen from time to time. Whenever Tony really wants to, he can be like a good dad and like can be like kind of loving that. When this episode is just a nice little reminder about that. I mean, it's gonna go where it's gonna go later on. It is what it is, and yeah, and then we get the real big moment here, like one that is there is gonna be like kind of longer standing consequences for where Tony was Tony B, you know, does the hit and then puts Tony as squarely in the middle of the New York drama, like where he does not want to be.
Mhm.
Yeah, I forgot about it. He finally calls up. They finally call and agree to take the hit. Yeah, and he ends up, of course, shooting two of them and ends up getting his foot fucking crushed, which is just so funny. Which basically takes us into the very next episode, the unidentified black males. What a fucking title that one is for the show. Shows where Tony and them are sitting outside watching baseball, and fucking Tony. What's his last? Is his last name B something?
I think they call him Tony B. Like that's what
That would just work better for me than saying Tony. So Tony B is limping around and goes, "What'd you do?" "Oh, I pulled something. I was moving something. I don't know what his excuse was, but he's fucking like limping clearly. Tony has dinner with Meadow and his like boyfriend, and boyfriend's like gonna work construction, I think, with the group. Like he is
Tony's gonna help him get a job. Yeah.
yeah, help him get a job. He's gonna bite off a little bit more than he wants to fucking chew, if we're being real with him, but that will come at a later time.
And he made the mistake of trying to pay for dinner.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah. Johnny Saxon and Tony basically have a meeting at the golf course, and like, yeah, it's really sad when they go young. When they go, Johnny Saxon is like one of the like best like facial expressions, and he knows payback. It's payback for Lorraine. He knows it. He's like, well, I'm sorry. Like, you can take my advice. Like, I don't know what ended up happening, but like, And then Tony has a panic attack on the golf course. So that's lovely. Uh, uh, Carmine Jr. and them have the whole situation about like there's treaties and stuff that's null and void. Like none of that exists anymore. Like we had to send a message basically of what they think. Meadow and this episode drives me fucking crazy because Meadow and him are like talking about like what he wants to do, be a photographer, wants to go back with his parents. Meadow's like, are we fucking breaking up? Is this what you're doing? Blah blah. I'm not saying that. But what are you saying? I'm not saying nothing. Blah blah blah. It's a bunch of bullshit. Tony has now basically locked down every lawyer around the situation for the divorce. So she's getting nowhere and she's losing her mind with it. Which shocking that happens. I love that they bring in what is his name? He's a football player, guard for the fucking the Ravens back in the day.
I mean,
I don't look at it. Starts with a Z. Zonka, something. But he is like a bodyguard. He doesn't say really anything. He just enters the room. But Tony confronts Tony B and is like, "What the fuck? There's a crazy guy got hit. The only thing they could determine is the guy limping around. Like, you fucking put me directly in the fucking middle for this." He's like, he's basically saying that there's like trying to like, it's not the big deal, blah blah. But Tony S is not happy with it. And he's like, I know you got kids, I know you're not expecting, but you can't just jump and take things into your own hands. Like that's not where it works. Tony meets with Jennifer, which Mark probably skipped ahead if he's anything like his father. Talking about sleeping with Carmela, about everything like that. And it was a one-time thing. There's nothing really there. Carmela meets with another lawyer to talk about like breaking everything down. Meadows' boyfriend goes and works construction basically on with the group, with the family. And he oversees I love Walnuts like talk shit to him at one point, like, go do this, like blah blah. He's like, oh, that's Meadows. Like, Tony? Hey buddy, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Do you hands him some cash, like everything's fine. Tony meets with Carmela and basically says she wants a divorce. She's like, I'm done. I'm not living on scraps anymore like this. And he's like, oh, what you deserve? What you fucking deserve? What about that $40,000 from the bird? Do you hear yourself, Tony? You sound fucking crazy. But it's like overall, the whole little fight. She's like, I'm not like, good luck with it. Like, he's like, I don't want it to get. You don't want it to get ugly. Too late. So awkward situation over that. Like not working well. Meadow and Carmela talk about like what their actions are and what they can do. Guy gets brutally beat the shit out of in front of her boyfriend. And everybody else is laughing, but he is not laughing. He's puking and throwing up. He can barely eat around Meadow because he's having like a mental breakdown of what happened. They go to the funeral of Johnny Peeves, the Peeps kid. They're all there, every family member there. Tony swears up and down that it wasn't Tony B. Like, don't put that at me. I promise you, like, it's not him. Like, he's like, you believe that Irish fucking prick that he did it. That it wasn't him. I promise you. Like, you're gonna believe his word over mine, but like, it does not leave where it's not. He doesn't believe it. Like overall, it leaves where it is. He doesn't fully like. He's like, you've lied to me before. Like I don't buy it. So he ends up leaving. The The kid is back at work the next day, and he's like, "I don't want to make any wrong jokes because I don't want to piss you off." Um. Oh. I don't. It used to be with Ralphie, the really big guy. He
The
approaches the kid and basically gives him tickets to the thing. He's like, "I didn't ask. This isn't like a oh no an offer. Like take what I'm giving you. Like do it."
me and Vito. You're talking about Vito.
Vito. So yeah, he sits there. Um, but he's trying to get in his good grace. He's like, she brings up the stuff with he brings the stuff up with Meadow of like the violence around the whole situation. She's like, I never saw any violence growing up. Like none of that stuff existed. Well, they either want to kill me or like something that, like it's not working. Like this is just it's not going to work. So
Yeah,
I
because he
thought that
saw
was
Vito like going down on that guy. He's like, so
yeah.
I don't know if Vito wants to kill me or he wants to do something else with me.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. So, but yeah, they're in like a fucking meltdown where the lawyer recuses himself of Carmela. So they're not there. She talks to Jennifer about the panic attacks. And like goes through all the stuff and basically pisses Tony off. Where he's just like, this shit's not working, nothing's good. Like he's starting to have a panic attack inside Jennifer's office. It's not going well there. Carmela walks into the house, and Meadow announces that um, they're getting married, and she's crying while Tony's swimming in the pool because she's like melting down because like she's gonna have to stay with Tony because she has no way fucking out, and why her daughter is getting married. So that's the end of Unidentified Black Males.
Yeah, I don't think this one was as strong as the last one, but there's still some good stuff in there. I love that they paid for the one guy's headstone and they put his nickname Peeps on the headstone. It's like, no, don't worry, we'll fix it. And we did get another Shield crossover. Officer Tina is working at the construction site,
True.
so that was cool. Hopefully, it works out better for her there. And I love the therapy scene at the end there where we get the revelation that Tony had a panic attack on the night that Crazy Eye Tony's got arrested, and that's why he wasn't there. And that's kind of why he's having all this stuff going on with him now that he's back and stuff, and he feels guilty for all of that. So, yeah. But the stuff with Meadow and her boyfriend is a little bit no thank you. But yeah, other than that, good stuff.
Yeah, this is probably one of the first times I think the Melfi session stuff has been actually interesting. Hearing him talk about a panic attack, like at least back then, was really interesting, especially coming from he was leaving an argument with his mother and like he just healed over after that. That was fun information to get. Yeah, and then we get that Vito thing in there. That Vito thing, it's just really funny, and it's just thrown in with the Finsta, which, as far as like Carmela boyfriends go, there's nothing wrong with Finn. Finn seems like a perfectly fine guy, but he's not built for this. Like he is not built to be in this family. He cannot handle when like Tony gets like aggressive with him. He can't handle just kind of seeing like just the occasional like rough stuff like around the or around like the job site, especially like when he's with the other guys. Like if he's gonna be committed, like there's no way this relationship works out. Like this is not a chance.
And
like,
he left poor Vito sitting outside the stadium by himself waiting.
Yeah, the fuck. I mean, he's like, like Vito's like, well, he didn't tell on me. He must, like be interested. Like, I don't know what the hell that's all about. But yeah, and then I also kind of like how we are going very quickly, at least with the Tony B stuff, to where like, oh yeah, like Tony figures out really quickly that Tony B had something to do with that New York murder. So yeah, I even though like we're kind of definitely on a bit of a slow trend with this season. I think this season has definitely taken a bit of a step back from last season. Things are still progressing pretty well. We're also getting like kind of some neat stuff that it will be important later on.
Okay. Cold cuts. Episode starts with two guys sitting at the docks waiting for something to arrive. Cuts to Tony S talking to Johnny Sacks about the Vespa students. It's like never came, never had possession. They never came into the situation, which is just absolutely crazy. Which Tony, I don't think really believes. There's a soccer game between a lot of young girls, and then Janice ends up kicking the shit out of a parent and beating her ass and going to jail. Tony meets with the group and says basically the Vespa shooters never came. Like that's what ended up happening. And then overall it was so they never came, but Silvio basically breaks it down as like, think about it, Tony. You had the chat at the funeral. Now there's no Vespas. Coincidence? I think not. Janice's Tony comes over to Janice's house and basically roughs her like, like what the fuck? I didn't do anything. You're in the news. You're bringing attention to me. My name was mentioned 75 fucking times over the night. Like, don't do it. He basically has a sit down.
Line.
Yeah, she sits down and has a conversation with her daughter, her stepdaughter, and her daughter's like, "What? You gonna hit me?" Like the whole and got really tension, real anger between them, and then Boxel's like, "You need anger management class. Like, you need to figure out your anger. Like, you can't keep living like the way you're living. Like, this is rough." Tony and Christopher like talk about like how much money that like he pulls from this place, like this, and it like messes Tony because Christopher wants more money. He's not being able to achieve more money. Adriana and Christopher are in like a wedding cake shop, and they're eating like overall having for the wedding tasting cake and stuff. Tony meets with Tony B and Christopher. What was that meeting for? In the car.
Because they had to go down to that farm to move those dead bodies because they were selling that property.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So they made him. Oh yeah, he's like moving. Oh yeah. And then that's when the whole conversation. So Adrian and Christopher basically talk about him leaving, going through that situation. Carmela drains the pool on Tony, and Tony
real bad guy behavior right there.
Fucking bitch, he goes the electricity and everything, and like he gets really close to it. And then she's like, I thought we were getting along horribly. Like, it polluted all the lawyers. So, and he's like, I never wanted a divorce. Don't pretend you weren't begging for a million different ways. Like, let's be real, Tony. Fuck off. So, plays dirty with him, and basically, it's going to be this whole war between those two. Throwing an engagement party for Christopher and everything like that. Janice is an anger management class, and like doesn't go well at all. Basically, she angers me when she speaks about like be thankful where she got it. Like, this is my country. It was wild, just awkward. Tony B and Christopher are going down to move those bodies. Jennifer and Tony talk about the temper that runs through the family and everything, and gets and basically talks about like all the people that have the overall anger in the family and what it's tied to, and like again, if I'm being real, the therapy sessions are losing me a little bit at this point in time. I just don't need the same episode to be broken down in the same part. Like she has anger management, she goes through anger management. I don't need Tony to go to Jennifer to talk about her anger problems that are happening. So that's double dose. I will listen to Tony say fucking agitation as many times as I want. Like it just really works for me. But other than that, like doesn't know where it all starts. They go down to that farm and they're having like dessert and dinner. Talk about the bodies and like moving and like Christopher, I think makes the claim like I had to move this guy twice already at this point. Like fucking awkward overall situation. They the guys down at the port attack one of the guys from the dropping off the like the Vespa scooters or something. Like they're down there and they beat the shit out of that guy with those pipes. I don't know. They want to know where the container is, but he has no clue where the Vespa is. He doesn't believe him, but he talks about Phil Laputo, like that's overall situation. But then Tony meets with the overall group and basically talks about the situation where they were the Vespa shooters were there the whole time. Like Johnny just is lying to him, and he believes that it's because of what Tony B did, and it's not going overall well. Janice is not processing her anger very well with Tony, and but basically trying to teach Tony like how to process the anger and like what he's learning and stuff. Like you just need to be happy, Tony. Like this is not the world to live in. Like you can do this. Tony pulls down to the farm with them to overall meet and play cards. Oh yeah, they end up taking the bodies, get them out of there, drop them into the water, get rid of that the whole situation. What else happens?
We saw a brief. Carmela saw the guidance counselor again, and there was like this weird, like slow motion screen freeze at the end of that scene, which I have no idea why that was there, but it was there.
Yeah, that was such a weird overall like situation, but like ran into him and like, oh, me and Tony are getting back together, and situations like, this they're Tony's watching shipping containers about weapons of mass destruction. And he's like, son of a bitch. So he's trying to process all that stuff. Like Tony gets lost on late night television. Like great. I'm glad we needed to know that for a while. Tony does this when Tony beats the shit out of
that bartender again.
The bartender.
Oh yeah.
Beats him with a phone, I think, and throws a glass at his head.
Oh yeah.
Almost is like he doesn't want to see you. Tony has a woman over, but he's like, yeah, he doesn't want to see you anymore. Like this, he ends up paying the money, but he again, silver lining, anger, the whole thing, the theme of this episode that we're all dealing. So yeah, the anger there is there, and then Tony pushes Janet. Janice is trying to be this calm and whatever, fake, nice, something else like that, and then brings up her kid that doesn't live there, as like, be something if you live with a mother. Sucky blue, where's mom? Like I don't live here, and then picks up a fucking fork and like, I'm gonna kill you, Tony. And Tony's just laughing his ass off. It was just wild, like to poke the bear for no fucking good reason. But I mean, I can't say I didn't laugh really hard at it. It's like, where's my mom? Like, and you named her after a song, and is that the song that plays at the end of the episode?
Might have been.
I don't know what he ends up calling her, but like this overly song like plays on the nose, and like it has to be that song, but maybe I'm wrong. And that's how they end up with him walking down the street. Thoughts?
Yeah, man, and this maybe a little bit of a filler episode, but I will say it did something that I was very surprised. It made me feel kind of a little sympathetic for Christopher, because when he's there with the two Tonys together and they're just mercilessly picking on him, and that's pretty much what they did when he was younger too. I can see where he's got a lot of resentment towards that. And then all the Janice stuff with her anger management stuff, and then at the end where she finally maybe has it under control a little bit, or she's faking it or whatever, but Tony just can't stand anyone like having any happiness, so he just pokes at her until she snaps. Like, don't make me feel bad for Janice. Don't do that, show.
Yeah, I did forget to mention. I did think it was kind of funny from the last episode how, even though like Tony just mercilessly like let it in on that guy who he almost bought the beach house from with what was it, Frank Sinatra? I think it's
Yeah.
Nate D. Martin or whatever. He
D.
still
Martin,
took his
yeah.
advice. He still took his advice about hire like having to meet of all the high end lawyers to kind of fuck Carmelo over there.
Oh yeah.
Got her to do the pool. At least got her to do the pool thing, which is funny. I mean, I will say what is interesting about this episode. It is, hey, these characters that you probably don't like. What if we kind of give them moments where they're really sad, and I'm just sitting there going, I still don't really give a shit. I'm fine with them being sad. Like I don't care that they're making fun of Christopher about his alcoholism. Fuck that guy. He killed a waiter.
Drink.
Yeah, he killed a waiter because like he wanted him to go eat it after he left him a $14 tip on like a $800 bill. Total asshole. And then Janice is just the fucking worst. I don't care if she's giving up her anger management issues. Tony can make fun of like her her son out there. I don't care. So yeah, like sort of funny, like a bit of a funny way. Like this episode ends, at least with Tony just like pissing her off and just leaving. Yeah, it was all right. It was a fun time.
Sterling Blue, where's my? Hold on one second. Again, next week we will have a longer episode because we will be breaking down season 5, ranking them amongst everything else, and then we will
Tease what's
do a
next.
preview. Yes, I will work on the off season. If that's not how you spell that. We will be breaking that down. I will try to get a trailer. If I don't get a trailer overall, we will announce it. But I'm putting a banner up for Bad Guy of the Week.
Oh, we got a banner.
So I can keep track of when the time actually is on the videos moving forward. But Mark, you can take it away right now of who your bad guy of the week.
As much as I would really love. It's a 2-horse race, at least for me this week. I'd really love to give it to Betty. Just the pettiness on display from Betty is just at an all-time high. But I got to go back to back with Kavanaugh here. Like just the shit that he pulls like this with fucking with Corinne, just getting in bed with Antoine. Like he was on a tear this week, so it has to be him for me.
Yeah. Basically, honorable mentions. Definitely the guy that puts up a camera in a locker room when you could just put it in the hallway. Fucking creepy. And then to keep the pictures, fucking even more. Terry has been in the show a lot of episodes. I don't know how many, but I considered possibly Terry because he ends up admitting to finally killing all those people. But I kept it to a normal cast. It's fun. Kavanaugh is probably what should be. Betty just doing that shit was just petty as fucking didn't make no sense. But yeah, my overall Roger was also up there for honorable mentions because like the fucker in a new apartment where she just literally couldn't get past. So you're just being a dick at that point. But yeah, Kavanaugh just going every level, goes for Aceveda, goes for Corinne, goes for everybody, freezes accounts, does all this shit, throws Liam in jail because of he got pissy because his wife shoved a bottle up his ass or above her vagina. I don't know why that's prevalent. Like, I don't know why.
It's because
and
Vic
they're-
smirked at him. That's what did
And
it.
they're watching. Why did you take her into that room? Like what? Like what are we? Like you're such a whiny bitch. Like God, no one. Like if your wife didn't have mental illness, she should have left your ass anyways. And technically, you left, so even crazier. I don't know. Wild nuts.
Yeah, I've been hesitant up to these past few weeks when you guys have been saying the bad things about Kavanaugh, but this week I have to agree with you. This week we find out just the fact that he just left his wife when she started having mental issues, and now that he's finally kind of starting to bend his moral compass and making a deal with Antoine, the Vic and the strike team have just gotten him to the point where he's got to compromise his integrity in order to do something like that. So yeah, not the best week for Kavanaugh.
And with the next 2 episodes, probably not. I guess it will be. It's probably not the shortest, not as extended, because there is only 2 episodes of The Shield. There are 3 Mad Men and Sopranos. But we will announce what is coming next and what we are planning on doing. Appreciate you all for watching. Bye.
Let's take it a little slower. Wake up.